The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the tarmac of Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale. It was December 5, 1945, and Flight 19 was preparing for a routine navigation and combat training exercise. Led by Lieutenant Charles Carroll Taylor, a seasoned aviator with thousands of flying hours under his belt, the group of 5 General Motors TBM Avenger torpedo bombers stood ready for takeoff. Taylor, along with his trainee pilots, Captains Edward Joseph Powers and George William Stivers, Second Lieutenant Forrest James Gerber, and Ensign Joseph Tipton Bossy, had been briefed on their mission. Navigation problem number 1, they called it, a combination of bombing practice and dead-reckoning navigation. As the engines roared to life and the planes taxied onto the runway, Taylor's mind raced with anticipation. He had flown countless missions during his time in the Pacific Theater, but there was always a thrill to be found in the challenge of navigating the open skies. The flight took off at 14:10, following their prescribed route over the ocean. Their first leg took them eastward, towards Hens and Chickens Shoals, where they would practice low-level bombing. But as they flew on, Taylor began to notice something strange. The compasses in his plane were malfunctioning. Confusion rippled through the cockpit as Taylor struggled to determine their location. Had they overshot the Florida Keys? Were they over the Gulf of Mexico? The radio crackled to life as Lieutenant Robert F. Cox and FT-74 attempted to make contact, but Taylor's responses were vague and uncertain. "We are over land, but it's broken," Taylor radioed. "I am sure I'm in the Keys, but I don't know how far down and I don't know how to get to Fort Lauderdale." FT-74 urged Taylor to use the sun as a guide, to fly north along the coast until they reached familiar territory. But Taylor's confidence was waning, his sense of direction clouded by the failing compasses and the vast expanse of the open sea. As the minutes ticked by, radio contact grew sporadic, the voices of the pilots laced with anxiety and fear. Taylor attempted to set a course towards Fort Lauderdale, but his efforts were in vain. The weather worsened, the sky darkening with the onset of evening. "We'll fly 270 degrees west until landfall or running out of gas," Taylor announced, his voice tinged with desperation. But landfall never came. As darkness enveloped the horizon, Flight 19 became lost to the sea, swallowed up by the vastness of the Bermuda Triangle. Meanwhile, a Martin PBM Mariner flying boat had been dispatched from Naval Air Station Banana River to search for Flight 19. But as it ventured into the twilight, it too vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions and speculation. In the days that followed, search and rescue teams scoured the ocean, their efforts hampered by rough seas and treacherous conditions. But despite their best efforts, no sign of the missing planes or their crews could be found. A Navy Board of Investigation was convened to determine the cause of the disappearance. Initially, it was believed that Taylor's mistaken navigation had led the flight out to sea. But as the investigation progressed, doubts began to emerge. Had Taylor truly misjudged their location, or was there something more sinister at play? Rumors of supernatural forces and extraterrestrial intervention swirled around the case, adding fuel to the fire of speculation. In the years that followed, wreckage was discovered off the Florida coast, leading to theories and conjecture about the fate of Flight 19. But despite numerous expeditions and searches, the true fate of the 5 Avenger bombers and their crews remains shrouded in mystery. As for Lieutenant Charles Carroll Taylor and his fellow aviators, they are remembered as heroes lost to the depths of the Bermuda Triangle, their courage and sacrifice immortalized in the annals of history. But the truth of what happened on that fateful December day may never be known, lost to the winds and waves of time.